Now we move on to that question of the week, hinted at by both of us, but deals with Josh Rock, his first Euro Tour final. Of course, he won a title last year. Will Josh Rock move into the world's top 16 before the end of 2023?
Well, before I answer this, I've just got to first of all say apologies, because our Twitter poll for these questions, they usually do run for 7 days, but for some reason I forgot to change it. So it did only run for 1 day. So we do have the results for this poll already. And we did get a lot of feedback, even though it was only running for 1 day. And 61% of our listeners saying that, yes, Josh Rock will be in the top 16 before the end of 2023, and 39% going with no. And we had a few of our listeners get in touch with some comments as well. We had J. Page Rochester saying possibly that destruction of MVG was something else. Kids got game. President Camacho saying his reaction after beating MVG was priceless. And Tom saying that he'll reach the final of either the match play or the Grand Prix and get into the top 16. So that's what some of our listeners are coming back to us with. And the state of play at the moment, you look at it, we're coming towards the end of April. And Josh, the run at the final at the weekend, it's put him up to number 30. He's gone above Raymond van Barneveld and Mervyn King on that list. And he is still in the second year of his tour card. So that figure that he's got, the prize money he's got on that ranking, that's not going to go down. It's only going to go up. And the top 16 at the moment, it looks like a tough ask, 160 grand off of Dave Chisnall. But we've got a lot of big events coming up during the second half of the year. And Josh Rock pretty much is going to be in all of them. You've got the match play, the Grand Prix, the Players' Championship finals, European Championships, the Grand Slam. I don't think he's officially in that at the moment, but as the World Youth Champion, he should be in. So he is in that event, to correct myself there. But looking at the provisional rankings going into the World Championship, he's around number 26, and he is around 60 grand off. And with all the prize money that's going to drop off from those majors 2 years ago, it's going to push him up there. And I think that's where he can cash in, because the majors, that's not an area that we've seen him have a deep run yet. And it seems harsh to say, but the World Championships, he did make the last 16, but there's a lot of prize money to win in these big events, as we know, and we've not seen him get to a quarterfinal yet, but I do think it is only a matter of time, and we're going to see him make debuts in some of these events, the match play, the Grand Prix. In terms of the stage, he's in the top 16 on the Pro Tour, so he's going to be in pretty much all the Euro Tours now for the rest of the year, and a lot more stage time for him this year. And we saw what he did last year with a limited amount of stage time until the back end of the year. He did start to make some strides. So I think we're going to see him get into that top 16. And the question is before the end of 2023. So that means he does have to do it before the World Championships. And yeah, 60 grand, he's going to need to have a decent run in one of the majors. And I think he's going to do it, possibly even two. I think he's going to go deep, make a couple of quarterfinals, maybe go further in one of them. So I'm going to go with the majority of our listeners. I'm going to say that Josh Rock, before the World Championship, before the end of 2023, will be in that top 16.
Yeah, I mean, so it is, as you mentioned, just under 60,000 right now between where he provisionally would be for the World Championships and where number 16 is. But let's look at the difference between number 16 and number 15. That's nearly another 40,000. He is just under 100,000 from number 15. And he doesn't have to get to number 15 to be in the top 16. But if he doesn't catch number 15, it means he has to catch every single person ahead of him. Some of those you'd expect him to. Some of those I'd expect that by the time we're starting the world match play, he'll have caught, if not right after that. I think he will catch. I mean, yes, Christopher Tyske's playing better, but he's not playing better than Josh Rock. That's 2,000 pounds and change to catch him. Winning your board would almost, at one Players' Championship, would almost catch him. Stephen Bunting is another 8,000 ahead of that. Martin Schindler is only 19,000 ahead of him. Schindler's playing well, but not as well as Josh Rock. So, if you look at it that way, he's going to catch some of these players. But Gary Anderson's playing really well. Andrew Gilding has won a major already this year. Ryan Searle, Chris Dobie, both playing really well. All he has to not make the top 16 is for one of those players to maintain that lead. And that seems fairly likely. Now, could he win 100,000 pounds between now and the World Championships? Yes. But that's 100,000 that he needs to make up on Damon Hedda, on Ross Smith, on Joe Cullen, or Dave Chisnall, one of those players. And that's going to require him to make not just a deep run, but probably at least a final at one of the televised events. But he's good enough. He won a title last year. He won a televised title if you count the World Youth Championships. That doesn't count for the rankings. It's not against senior competition, but it still is experience on that big stage. And as you mentioned, he'll be playing all the European tours. That's going to be a lot of opportunities to make up ground on the people ahead of him. But I don't know if he's yet ready to win a television tournament, which means if he's going to get in the top 16, he's going to have to do it by reaching a major ranking final and having a lot of other very big results, or at the very least winning a pair, at least a pair, if not a trio of these European tours. It's 30,000 pounds for winning one of them. It's possible. It's definitely doable. And it becomes a little bit easier for him to move in the top 16 after the World Championships because of all the money that's at stake at the World Championships and the fact that he didn't have a tour card 2 years ago. He's not defending anything at the Alexandra Palace this December. He absolutely can move into the top 16 before the end of the year, but it really is a tougher task than just 60,000 pounds might sound, because that's 60,000 pounds that he's having to catch on everyone just to get to number 16, and another 40,000 if just one of those people stays ahead of him. And I think the way it's going, it's more likely than not that at least one of those people will stay ahead of him. And I just think that it's asking him to catch up on Damon Hedda, to catch up on Joe Cullen, to catch up on Ross Smith or Dave Chisnell is a little bit too much unless he wins a television event. So I'm going to say he's not, but I'm definitely ready to be proven wrong.